Welcome to Power Dynamic Book, Chapter 8, Friendship. Friendship is a close, voluntary relationship between people who care about each other. It is built on trust, honesty, and mutual respect. Friendship tend to be long-lasting and provide emotional support for those involved. Characteristics of friendship: mutual concern. Friends are concerned about each other's needs and interests. Shared experiences. Friends often share common interests and experiences. Emotional support. Friends offer encouragement and support when needed. Companionship. Friends enjoy spending time together and sharing activities. Equality. Friendship are typically equal, where each person has about the same amount of power and influence. Intimacy. Friendship can involve a degree of intimacy where people share their feelings and thoughts. Benefit of friendship. Friends help shape who we are as individuals. Friendship provide a valuable source of emotional support. They can help us avoid negative or harmful behavior. In relationship where there is often a power struggle, historically, the gender seen as the weaker sex may try to overrule or control the stronger partner. There are women who seek to dominate or improve their partner. And then there are women who, out of pity, married men and later face challenges when those men assert authority in the relationship. For example, consider the situation where a man cheats on his wife. Even if she catches him, it might be wise for him to deny it until there is undeniable evidence. Admitting to the affair can lead to irreparable consequences in the relationship. This reflects the complex dynamics that exist in marriage and a long-term relationship. Similarly, when one partner outgrows the other, feeling of jealousy often arises. The partner who feels left behind may mask their feeling, but will eventually experience regret and resentment. This can lead to chaos, as the imbalance in growth or power can undermine the relationship. Friendship, on the other hand, is often pure and simple, especially in childhood. Children don't care about external differences like appearances, religion, or background. They connect based on shared play and mutual enjoyment. This is the essence of friendship. No strings attached. Children bond easily through shared values, work, sports, or studies, which is how friendship forms naturally. As we grow older, the influence of our parents shape the way we connect with others. The schools our parents choose, the environment we grow up in, and even the toys and gadgets we own influence who we become and the kind of friends we make. Parents often filter our friendship, especially when selecting schools or community activities, to ensure we interact with people who meet certain standards. In some societies, this influence is particularly strong. For instance, in communities shaped by colonial histories, children might be groomed to assimilate into a particular cultural standard. The proximity to power and privilege often dictates one's access to better living standards. This is especially true in countries like those in Africa, where the socio-economic gap between families who travel abroad and those who don't can be significant. Families who send their children abroad often gain status and wealth, distinguishing themselves from others. Even today, in many African communities, parents continue to exert significant influence over their children's friendship, shaping their social interaction by determining the environment they are exposed to. However, this can sometimes hinder their ability to build lasting independent friendship as adults. Friendship assumption. We often connect with people thinking we can change them in some way. You may have heard about the time I was betrayed by my friend when I called on them for support during my first child's delivery. Some didn't show up, and the same happened during my child's first birthday. They never gave me any reason for their absence. This is a sad reality of many friendships. We believe in the connection we share, assuming that in times of joy and sorrow, we will be there for each other. It was especially painful because we had spent so much time together, even working on television together. Yet, when it was my child's first birthday, they couldn't find it in themselves to be there for me. The lack of support deeply hurts me because I thought it was our responsibility to stick together no matter what. Many of us fall victim to emotional moments like this, where we believe our friends will always be there. We often hold on to relationships from school days or old friends, thinking they will last forever. However, as time passes, things change. 10 years after college, you may find yourself in different walk of life. A simple good morning no longer feels as sweet as once did. Many of these friends, especially those who move abroad, become distant. You will only communicate through social media, and conversation are reduced to trivial greetings or important matters. The reason this happens is simple. As people grow, they meet new friends and move on from the old ones. Friendships are often based on the shared tasks and circumstances of the moment. But as life changes, so do these connections. Friendship isn't always about shared values or norms, but about mutual benefit. For instance, childhood friends can remain close despite time and distance because they understand that we all have a struggle and there is no envy. When we reconnect after years, it's like no time has passed. They see my childhood and their own, and I look at theirs in the same way. This is what true friendship looks like. In life, you might only meet certain friends once, but when you do, they can make a huge impact. That is why it is so important to check on the non-judgmental friends, the ones who care not for what you can offer, but for you as a person. These are the friends who invest in your life without expecting anything in return. The irony is that we often don't know where or when we will meet such great friends, but when we do, their impact is immeasurable. They don't seek an exchange. They take joy in seeing you thrive, and you become the beneficiary of that joy. I've made the mistake of mistaking my TV colleagues for real friends. They benefited from my oratory skills, but when I needed them most during the birth of my son, they were nowhere to be found. Similarly, I had friends who abandoned me because of my financial situation. One friend who took me into his family business after I graduated and was jobless eventually distanced himself when he saw I hadn't moved on financially. He went to China, came back expecting me to be in a better position, and once he realized I hadn't, he cut me off. Since then, he has never contacted me again. These experiences have taught me not to expect too much from friendship. I no longer invest my energy in people who don't reciprocate. My true friends are my audience, people who engage with me and my work. Friendship is about investment. If someone cannot invest in the relationship, then it is not really friendship. If you have a friend who only uses you, don't waste your time. Focus on those who genuinely care. If you have a friend who will close their business for a day or a week to be there for you, don't take them for granted. But if you are in a situation where you find your friends take advantage of you, withdraw completely. It is better to walk away and let them realize their mistake than to stay and be mistreated. I've cut off people just as many have cut me off. For example, after I worked in a shop in Yaoundé for a friend's family business, something went missing and I was wrongfully accused. They immediately told me to leave without even providing transportation. Since that day, there has been no communication. This experience taught me the harsh reality of how friendship can end without explanation, without closure. Time heals, and in the future, those people may want to come back to you, but if they do, remind them that they caused the distance and thought they could do without you. If they try to come back, tell them the door they once had access to is now closed forever, and the keys have been thrown away. Your level is far beyond theirs now, and they can never return.
Chapter 9. Attraction/seduction. Attraction refers to the power of ability to evoke interest or admiration in someone. It's not limited to romantic or sexual context. It can also apply to friendship and personal connections. While we often hear the term attraction in terms of sexual or romantic desire, it extends far beyond that to encompass every aspect of human attention, appreciation, and capabilities. In this discussion, we will focus on attraction in the broader sense, desire for connection and understanding. I once asked someone what she thought about seduction, and her response was that something evil, something used to rob or manipulate others. I agreed with her, as it often appears devilish. People unconsciously desire to live their real lives. You hear people say, I don't want to wear makeup or do my nails because I want to appear real. They might say, I don't want to use lotion because I want to stay authentic. The truth, however, is that if you speak your mind without filtering your thoughts, you may alienate others. In this world, you need to apply some level of diplomacy in your communication. Not every thought should be shared, as it could damage your relationships and your reputation. This understanding is vital when considering seduction. It's not just about romantic or sexual attraction, it's about how we interact with others in a way that fosters harmony. To maintain peaceful coexistence, you must learn to choose your words carefully, just as you might manage your appearance to avoid being judged or misunderstood. People are not inherently evil for seeking attention, whether through their looks or behavior. They are simply maximizing their natural potentials. It's when extravagance sets in, whether in appearance or in behavior, that we move away from healthy social interaction to something less grounded. Extravagance can be seen in various forms. For example, a woman who wears revealing clothes to attract attention, or a person who behaves dramatically to feel superior can be seen as extravagant. But these behaviors are also forms of seduction. They are ways of negotiating power or influence. The difference, however, lies in the intent. Someone who seeks attention purely for superficial reasons is motivated by something different than someone who wants to help others feel comfortable and empowered. Seduction, in this context, becomes a means of connection. If you master the art of understanding and influencing people positively, you can navigate almost any situation. For example, I was once told that people think I am a womanizer. This label came from my interest in women and the way I made them feel at ease around me. But this term is often misunderstood. While some see it as a negative threat, by approaching it is different. I don't engage with women to manipulate or deceive them, but rather to help them feel comfortable, understood, and able to express themselves freely. To me, that's the true definition of being a womanizer, not exploiting women, but creating an environment where they can thrive and grow. Only on my wedding day, an unexpected moment occurred when the MC asked who was the more attentive partner in our relationship. As I reached for the microphone, my wife took it instead and surprised everyone by saying, "I am the most attentive one." It was shocking because people, including my own family, saw me as cold-hearted, heartless, and inconsiderate. Even I doubted it. But when we talked about it later, my wife reaffirmed that she had come to understand I had a better grasp of relationship dynamics than I had initially believed. Despite how others perceived me, she saw a side of me that was loving, caring, and compassionate. This contradiction between how I'm seen publicly and how I truly am speaks volumes. People often view me as distant or mean, but in reality, I'm deeply compassionate. I've just learned to protect myself by adopting a tough exterior. This image I've built isn't a reflection of who I am inside. It's a strategic defense to preserve my personal ego and keep myself from being misunderstood or hurt. In fact, while people might label me as someone who is broke or stingy, the reality is far different. I may not always display wealth in traditional ways, but I'm a humanitarian at heart, and I find joy in giving, helping others, and developing the potential of those around me. I have a ventilated office, employees, and a commitment to seeing people grow. That's the real me, not the image others may perceive. Ultimately, this reflection on attraction, seduction, and the public perception of who we are versus who we truly are invites a deeper understanding of how we interact with the world. It's about mastering the balance between staying true to yourself and managing how others perceive you. Understanding this can help you build more meaningful, authentic connections, both personally and professionally. My wife recently confessed that throughout our marriage, I have always been the one fighting for attention within my own family. I have kept our issues private, never taken them to our parents, friends, or anyone who could potentially mock her. However, she has often shared her marital struggles with her family, neighbors, and friends without much thought. Over time, this difference in approach led her to realize that her understanding of relationship was not the same as mine. She then explained how in many ways I have been a source of inspiration for her. I've always encouraged her not to settle for a small salary or to stay in the company of negative people. Instead, she should aim high, surround herself with better individuals, and strive for a dynamic future. The praise she poured on me during our wedding was not just sentimental, it was a reflection of what she now sees as the law of attraction in power dynamics. It's clear that everyone, regardless of gender, craves attention and attraction. Women often think they are the only ones who need attention, but the truth sex, and the like. These are not just status. These are not just status. They are tools for attraction. Attraction is a fundamental part of human nature. It influences the choices we make. For example, men often focus too much on material things to attract women, thinking that the right job title, house or car will be enough. But this approach is flawed. It's not about rushing the process or trying to impress with material wealth. When men focus solely on material attraction, they often miss the point and fail to develop the personal qualities that truly make them attractive. Seduction is a natural skill. It's not just about external appearances. It's also about how we interact with others. The best seducers are those who know that attraction is not one-time event, but an ongoing process. They understand that attraction is based on trust, communication, and presence. When someone starts flirting with you, they are communicating their attraction without needing to say a word. Similarly, when you dress well, take care of yourself, and show confidence, you naturally attract others, whether you are aware of it or not. The key to successful seduction is preparation. It's not about waiting for the right moment to impress someone, but making attraction a daily routine. The same way a man builds muscles, a person can work on their attractiveness through consistent effort, working out, dressing well, maintaining good hygiene, and being mindful of how they present themselves. This requires discipline and commitment to self-care, whether at the gym, at work, or even in everyday life. Unfortunately, many people fall into the trap of believing that money or status alone will attract the right person. They delay their effort, thinking they need to first achieve certain milestones, like getting a promotion or buying a house before they can attract someone of value. However, this mindset leads to frustration. When these men don't succeed, they either become desperate or start chasing unrealistic desires. This is often because they haven't worked on themselves enough to truly become attractive on the inside as well as the outside. It's the same for women who, despite desiring to be the center of attention, fail to maintain their self-care and personal development. They might cover up their insecurities by claiming they are confident, but the truth is they are not putting in the effort to make themselves genuinely attractive inside and outside. If you want to be the center of partners' attention and maintain a dynamic, lifelong relationship, it requires constant effort. You can't take your partner for granted. This means looking after your body, dressing appropriately for all situations, and ensuring you stay neat and attractive every day. This effort isn't just for getting a partner's attention, it's about self-respect and continual growth. Those who are consistently working on themselves will have the upper hand in maintaining a strong and lasting attraction. In the end, those who procrastinate and make excuses will never see the results they desire. Self-improvement, discipline, and consistency are what lead to lasting attraction and respect in a relationship. The sooner you start, the sooner you will experience the reward. Seduction is an obligation. If you are not prepared to be seduced, you may lose something you should have worked to keep. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, spend some time with women whose husband cheat on them, or single independent women who might struggle to pay their bills at certain points. Listen to their conversations and you begin to understand the consequences of after discovering her husband's affair with young girls in the congregation. This situation crushed her spirit. When my wife visited her mom, the older woman noticed that my wife didn't have any seductive clothing to herself, so she bought her mini dresses, telling her you need to wear seductive clothes at home. My wife later told me about this gift, and I realized that these clothes weren't work attire but more intimate, home-use dresses. One evening when I saw her wearing one of them, I said, "This dress is making me feel awake." And she responded, "I want you to wear it." She explained that her mother's intention behind buying this cloth was to encourage her to keep the seduction alive in her marriage. This wisdom is profound. What you learn late in life, teach your children early. We should not be shy about it. I admire my mother-in-law's action and decided to surprise her on her birthday as a gesture of gratitude. This is a way to help young women understand the importance of maintaining attraction in their relationship. If you neglect this, you may live with regret for the rest of your life. Seduction is not about manipulation. It's all about maintaining the bond and attraction in your relationship. Women are naturally beautiful, but their allure fades if they neglect their health and bodies. Eating junk food, for example, is one of the quickest ways to destroy your body. I once saw a woman eating gari and sugar by the roadside, and it upsets me. But this is the kind of lapse I'm talking about. The choices you make and what you eat and how you care about yourself are important. Women, don't let yourself fall into the trap of poor health. If you don't, you will struggle to stay attractive, and no man wants a partner who doesn't take care of herself. Many men won't openly say it, but no man truly loves a partner with poor health, even if they pretend themselves otherwise. If you don't believe me, ask those who go to the gym how hard it is to get in shape and maintain it. Men may say they accept their partner the way she is, but deep down there, they are likely wishing for something different. If you want to avoid regret, make sure to maintain yourself physically and emotionally. Seduction isn't just about appearance, it's also about your attitude and how you speak to your partner. A soft voice can calm a mind's nerves and create an atmosphere of peace and intimacy. Men appreciate softness and maturity in their partners. Women, if you think your husband is cheating, approach him with maturity, not violence. Violence leaves lasting scars.